Hello YouTube viewers, Facebook friends, and Facebook family. I welcome you to another edition of Joe's Politics 101. You know, you keep hearing things and reading things and watching the news media, and there's a lot of things that strikes me as not really being real about some things. You know, today is August the 7th, 2013, and I want to weigh in on this conversation that's going on in the nation about race relations that has been sparked basically by the killing of this guy Zimmerman killing Trayvon Martin in Florida. You know, it amuses me how people who get on television and make these statements like we don't want to talk about race. You know, I'm an old school kind of fella, and I like to think or feel in my mind and in my thinking that I am a for real person and that I understand the issues that's going on within our nation right now. You know, the idea that we, as some people put it, don't want to talk about race. Well, I don't know who the we is. I've always been willing to discuss this divide on race. I didn't create it, and the people who did create it have a tendency to shy away from it. So that's not we, that's them. Them who don't want to talk about race. You know, the N-word, the N-words, let me not just make it singular because it is plural and vast. You know, there's a number of N-words that were created and introduced to our society by the Caucasians or the Aryans. And the word that I really dislike is white. And it's not because it applies to the people that we're referring to when we make the statement white, but because it is it's untrue. There are no white people. I want to show you something. That's white. Can you see that? That's white. That's white. I don't see any people walking amongst me or around me that have that hue. So I find the word white offensive in the fact that there's no one around who looks like that. And if they did, if there were some people around that look like that, I would be thinking they're from out of space somewhere. Yeah, that's me being honest about how I see things. Everybody's perception is different. My perception, there is no whites, folks, or white people. You know, we can find another word for them, Caucasian or Aryan or whatever, whatever acronym or word that you want to create, but white's not it. But the N-word and all of the other racial slurs that you hear, Caucasians have words that that racial words that they use against each other. I know some of the words, but I don't use them because I don't see anybody in that view, in that, that realm. Those are words that Caucasians created and introduced into society to denigrate, to degrade, to dehumanize others. Now, what I would like to believe is that we're all Americans. But even though we are, everybody's not seen in that light. Caucasians want to give you the idea that because of their skin hue, the lack of pigmentation or whatever makes them light-skinned, they would like for you to believe that that makes them superior in some way. In their looks, in their knowledge. You've heard that Caucasians and Aryans and all these different people from all around the world are supposed to be the great civilizers. That's a matter of what you know and what you see and what history tells us about the Caucasians, the Aryans, and all these different names that they call themselves over a period of time. The Germanics, and just so many different things that history or people have written about and say that this is how it all began. I don't buy much of it. What I do know is that my ancestors, were brought to this country and they were introduced to language, religion, and culture. And it's sometimes, when I sit down and I really, really think about it, trying to really figure out why Caucasians are so animate about and have so much hate in their hearts for people of a darker skin than them. And the only thing that it rolls back to with me is this. You brought my ancestors into this country. You used them as slaves. You taught them things. And they taught you some things. A lot of the inventions that we see today were invented by people of dark skin. Or people of color, as some people want to call us. And you taught us, we learned the behavior of the Caucasians. So the sort of thing that I've come up with is this. Number one is we as a people when we talk about different races, when you talk about different races, we as a race in America, the Afro-American people as a race in America, is a spitting image of Caucasians because we have the same values, the American values, you know, the same beliefs, the same ideas, the same desires, you know, the probability of you know, realizing the American dream. You know, that didn't just fall out of the sky. That was bred into us. I was born and raised in America, and my desire has always been to be better, to gain more, to have more, you know, to be successful. That's why I wanted freedom. That's why, you know, the old Jim Crow laws and things were stifling Afro-American people, putting them in a position where they couldn't grow. The issue of race, I'm willing to talk about it because I think there's a lot of confused people in this world. They're confused because they don't realize that when you look in the mirror at me and you look in the mirror at yourself, we're the same folks. We just, one has a darker skin tone than the other. You know, and as far as some pure blood Caucasian or Aryan or Germanic or whatever, I don't believe that exists in this nation. You know, they talk about the old melting pot deal. That's what we are. We're some of everybody in this country. You know, times have changed. We're mobile. We get around. We meet people. It's just not a black and white America anymore. It's a mixed America. You know, whether you want to believe it or like it or not, that's exactly how it is. Accept it or continue to reject it and create problems that are unnecessary. In the next few weeks, I'm going to continue this conversation or offering my opinion about our race problem and our race issues that's going on in America. And I would like to hear, rather than someone talking about we don't want to talk about race in this country, to get it straight. Some of us, many of us, are more than willing to talk about race. And the reason we're willing to talk about race is we want those who feel that they are superior to people like myself, we want them to understand that they are no different than I am on a day-to-day basis. We go to work. Well, let's put it this way. We get up in the morning. If you're a man, you put your pants on the same way. I assume you brush your teeth the same way, wash your face, eat breakfast, drink coffee, whatever it is you do, and you go out and you get in a vehicle if you're a driver and you have one, and you go to work. That's what most Americans do. If you're a woman, you basically get up in the morning, wash your face, brush your teeth, put your dress on, put your pants on, all of the stuff that you do, whether you're white, black, or whether you Caucasian, Afro-American, Asian, no matter what your culture or race is. You're dressed the same way, you look the same way, and basically everything about you is the same. So I don't understand what the difference is when you want to try to degrade or deny another person their rights. because of what they look like. So be on the lookout for my next few posts. I'm going to be getting into this issue about race. God bless you. God bless America. Ciao.